We've lost another ancient oak in this part of Sherwood Forest. I'm not surprised. This is a particular oak. It's well off the beaten track. Few people know of its existence and few people walk past it or even visit it. And it's come down very recently, within the last few days or certainly a couple of weeks or so. The buds are just beginning to swell and are on the point of beginning to open. Now it's all over for this oak. This is, as many of the oaks in Sherwood Forest, this is an oak that has been haloed around, halo being the practice of removing all competing trees to within about 5 meters or 10 meters of the edge of the crown of the tree you're haloing around. And it lets more light in. The tree does tend to put on more growth, but I've always thought that that's just a final flourish. A final flourish before the inevitable. And if it isn't, it does become inevitable, because these trees do put on new growth, and that growth can be, well, considerable. It can also be considerably heavy, and these old trunks just can't take it. I've never been in favour of haloing. I just think it exposes the tree more to the elements. And as more and more trees come down in Sherwood Forest, this used to be pine plantation until a few years ago, it puts more pressure on the old roots of these trees. And to be honest, there aren't any roots. What roots there are pretty rotten, become dry and become brittle. They can't support the added extra weight. And this tree, like many others, is going to be probably around 800 years old. But it won't get any further. Many consider that haloing is the way to go. That's the conservation thinking. I've never been convinced at all about it. Say, it just opens the tree up to the worst of the elements. And we've lost a number of trees now through having been haloed, and the trees being old, the roots being old. These trees are all dead from what you can see above ground, but they're equally as dead or dying below it. They don't have a great root structure, not that's living. It's just a shame. I don't like to see these old trees come down. Some people will say, well, it's come to the end of its life, but I think haloing hastens the end of its life. Had the tree still been well protected, it would be upright, at least for a few more years. And that's why I don't like to see chainsaws around trees. We chop too many trees down. A fabulous old ancient this particular tree was. Dillis and I used to come along this hardly used track. In fact, it's used more now than when we used to be glowworm, and we used to come along here because we found that glowworms were on this particular section. We used to go up to where this tree is. Actually, this was the marker. This was the furthest we came along here. But now this tree is in the way because it's fallen right across in front of the path. I feel sorry, well, it worries me about the trees in Sherwood Forest, these old ancients. We're just losing trees when we don't have to be losing trees, as far as I'm concerned. I know they will all be shouting at the televisions now if they're watching this. we take all the protection away, all the protection that has kept these trees upright for hundreds of years.